Star Wars. Star Wars. Unbelievable. I mean, it was okay. It was good. I liked it a lot. Notice how I just said it was okay from, and now I'm saying I liked it a lot. Okay, I liked it a lot. Okay, it was a great movie. But I have some, yeah, I got some things about it I didn't really like too much, and then there was some things I really enjoyed too much. So let's talk about it. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Well, I mean, when I watched the trailer stuff like that, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. And then right when it was getting around a couple days before the movie was releasing, that's when I was getting like, dude, what if the movie sucks? What if it's like another, I don't know. I was telling my cousin Mike, I was like, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be a Jar Jar somewhere in this movie. Not the actual Jar Jar, but a character that's gonna be like another Jar Jar in a way. But there wasn't. And when I went in there and I saw the movie, I enjoyed every moment of it. It was so good. Uh, just to let you know, there's gonna be spoilers in this video. But first, I want to talk about is the good things about it. I loved how the story was told. I loved how the original cast was introduced into the movie. Now the new actors, I did like them except for one, but I'll get to that later. I love how Rey's character, I love how her story was told. It reminds me, the whole movie pretty much reminded me of A New Hope. It was pretty much like a retold version of A New Hope. It was pretty much like that. You know, if you remember in episode 4, Luke was left on a desert planet, Tatooine, without knowing his parents. That runs into droids later on in the movie. So in this movie, it's kind of the same thing. Rey left on a desert planet, not knowing who her parents are, runs into BB-8, and pretty much kind of wears kind of like the same outfit, kind of as Luke did. Also, has now it doesn't have knowledge of the Force, but is very strong in the Force, but doesn't really know it yet. Rey is also a great pilot, just like Luke has said many times that he is a great pilot. Also, that he's shown when he flew the X-wing and destroyed the Death Star. Also, when they destroyed the Star Killer base, they just like when they did with the Death Star. Now, here's the thing about that Star Killer base: it's supposed to be like a 10 times or 100 times bigger than a Death Star, but it blew up just as easy. But again, that's for what I thought bad about the movie. But yeah, I love how they introduced Rey. I love her story. I love how they pretty much kind of like started over the same way they did with A New Hope and stuff like that. They just told it in a different way and stuff. I did like Finn's character. I like how, you know, I love how they focused on a stormtrooper's his thoughts and stuff. They never really focus on that. In other movies, you see stormtroopers, you see them die and shooting at missing every shot, even though they could be like 2 feet away, they'll still miss every shot. But I like how he was a stormtrooper and they focus so much on him. Like he's like, he has his own thoughts. Like, wait a second, I don't want to be doing this. This is not what I want to be a part of. You know, he makes a decision. I like how they focused on that. Now, they would think, now people are going to probably say like, oh, but he wasn't a clone, so of course he's going to have his own thoughts. Well, that's true. Like he'll make his own decision because he's not a clone, you know, he's a regular person. But I don't know if you guys ever played Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Star Wars Republic Commando, you know, these clones also had a mind of their own, you know, before Order 66 was initiated. They had a mind of their own, you know, they even had their own story to tell in a way. If you guys haven't played Republic Commando, that was on the original Xbox, it's also on computer. Check that out because they really focus on the clone troopers story, you know, where they show it in a way where they're actually individuals. You know, it's really cool. But yeah, back to Finn. You know, I like how they focused on him. You know, I love how I didn't think he would be so comedic. You know, in this movie, he was really funny. I like how I was thinking, okay, wait a second. As soon as he pulled out the first joke, I was like, okay, this is the Jar Jar of the new Star Wars movie. But he wasn't. He was actually really funny. You know, I actually enjoyed um, seeing his character. I couldn't wait for like to defer him. I knew he was gonna say something funny and stupid 5 minutes later, or something like that. So it was really good. I like how he got his name. Speaking of which, his when he was a stormtrooper, his number was FN 2187. I think that's what it was, which was actually 2187. That was actually the cell block number for Princess Leia in A New Hope when they went to rescue her um, from the Death Star. So I like how they brought that in too, and the way he got his name, you know, Finn. That was pretty cool. The way Poe gave him his name, FN 2187. So FN, he just named him Finn, you know, and I thought that was pretty cool how he got his name, pretty much. Now for another character was Poe. I think his name was Poe Dameron, something like that. I think that's what his name was. I did like his character a lot. I like how he was like supposed to be this famous, well-known pilot, the best in the Resistance. But I wish they kind of showed more of Poe. You know, he seems like an interesting character. I wanted to see more about, want to learn and know more about him. Which I bet they're probably saving maybe for the next movies and stuff. You know, but I mean, I wish they kind of would have showed more. I especially loved when, if you guys remember in the trailer, when they showed the X-Wings flying over the water. And that scene in the movie was excellent. It was ridiculously good. I freaking loved it. I kind of wish they had more space battles though in the movie. There was pretty much, you know, like just that one scene where when Finn and Poe are escaping. That was pretty much like a short when they steal the TIE fighter. That, you know, that was, you know, it was like a 5-minute space battle kind of thing. It wasn't really a space battle even. Another thing that was pretty cool is that, just like they showed in the trailer, stuff like that, where Rey is living on Jakku, I loved how they show pretty much where she sleeps and everything is inside an AT-AT. I love how they showed that. It was just like an AT-AT laying in the dirt, in the desert, stuff like that. That was really cool. I thought that was pretty funny. I especially love the way they introduced the Millennium Falcon again. That was pretty funny. It's basically Finn and Rey. They're trying to escape from the First Order, and Finn pretty much they're running towards a ship, and Finn says, "What about that ship?" And then Rey says, "Oh, that ship is a piece of junk." And so as soon as their ship blows up, she's like, "The junk will do." So they pan the camera around, and it ends up being the Millennium Falcon. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was an excellent way to introduce the Millennium Falcon. That was pretty funny too. So the story of pretty much the whole movie is that pretty much from the beginning to end, they're trying to find Luke Skywalker, who's apparently been missing for over 30 years, I'm guessing, that they were saying. And so between those 30 years, Luke was training new Jedi, and that's when Kylo Ren comes into play. Kylo Ren was actually Han Solo and Princess Leia's son, named Ben, which I don't know if they named after Ben Kenobi. That could be connected in some way. But Kylo Ren was so influenced, I guess, by his grandfather, Darth Vader. He wanted to be Darth Vader, but I don't understand. What I don't understand is that, you know, he should have known that Darth Vader was bad, obviously, but at the end he ended up being good because he had good in him. Maybe he's trying to be Darth Vader, but he is struggling also because he feels the light just like his grandfather, and he doesn't want to pretty much fail him by showing how weak he is. But they didn't really explain how he was introduced to the dark side. They did say, you know, the Supreme Leader Snoke was the one who turned him into the dark side. But I want to know how that happened. You know, I wish. Maybe, obviously they're gonna be saving that for the next movie. I have a feeling that Luke is gonna end up talking to Rey about what really happened during that time and how Kylo Ren turned into Kylo Ren. But it's kind of sad in a way, you know, like Luke was pretty much training a whole new generation of Jedi, and one Jedi goes bad and slaughters all of them, and Luke felt responsible, so he disappeared. So now no one knows pretty much where he is, except for R2D2 and BB-8. Because in the beginning of the movie, BB-8 is given this this chip thing, I'm gonna call it a flash drive from the future, which is a piece of a map to Luke Skywalker. But no one knows that R2D2 has the other piece of the map. And for some reason, R2D2, all of a sudden, you know, R2D2 had like maybe like 2 scenes. I mean, like, come on, that was it, really? But they, R2D2 pretty much been in like sleep mode, ever since Luke had disappeared. So no one really thought about like, hey, R2D2 might know where Luke is. Let's you know, let's, I don't know, take him apart and find out what he knows. But obviously, you know, they're not gonna make it that simple, you know, because it is a movie. It's not like a real life situation. But it was still, I mean, like, I like how they focused a little too much, I think, on BB-8. I would have liked to have seen more of BB-8 and R2D2 kind of friendship thing going on there, which I think they did show around the end, how R2D2 and BB-8, you know, kind of hit it off around the ending. So that's probably a sign for the next movie of, you know, like how they'll interact with each other for the future movies. Now they didn't explain how C-3PO got his red arm pretty much. C-3PO did mention it, like, oh, I bet you didn't recognize me with my red arm or something like that. But they never explained that either. But again, this is 30 years. This is between 30 years right there. Anything could have happened within 30 years. He probably could have had his arm stuck in a trash compactor or some crap like that. Now, I did like how they introduced Han and Chewbacca. Now, when they first walked in, you could see the age right there of Han. But that only lasted maybe for like 2 minutes. But when you see the way Harrison Ford plays Han Solo again, you just get Han Solo. He still acts, and you still see the young version of the Han Solo in there, you know, especially the way he speaks, the way he acts. Really, really funny, really great. I really enjoyed that. They even threw in some famous lines in there from the original movie, like, I got a bad feeling about this, especially when he was saying, come on baby, don't let me down. That was really, for some reason, I felt like when I went to see it, I felt like I was the only one laughing at that, at those little things right there. I'm like, are you serious? No one else recognizes this stuff? But I know my cousin did though, because he's seen all the movies plenty of time. It was so emotional. Like, I literally shed tears horrifically with the death of Han Solo. That I knew it was coming. I just knew it the way the scene was built up. I knew it was gonna happen. But man, I still wasn't ready for it. I was trying to prepare myself, and I still was not ready for that. It was very sad. I mean, I'm still kind of confused in a way. Kylo Ren was saying how he's just so confused, and he said he knows what he has to do, but he doesn't know if he has the strength to do it. Now, I don't know if by him killing his father, obviously that was probably for him to lead more into the dark side, so now he has nothing holding him back from the light coming into him. Or he was, I don't know, I'm still confused by it in a way, but I think it's pretty much obvious in a way that he killed his father so that there's no more light trying to interfere with him. Now he can be in full control of the dark side. It's still kind of sad, you know, just like what, as soon as that lightsaber went right through Han, I'm like, oh man, you see it in Han's face, you know, like, wow. And then he puts his hand on his son's face for the last time, and he falls right into like that endless pit. That was too emotional, man. I'm telling you right now. Even thinking about it right now is sad. Then the way that Chewie just pretty much roars out. I've never heard Chewie roar out more than any other movie I've seen with so much anger. He shot Kylo Ren right there and pretty much shot every stormtrooper that was coming at him, blew up the place that they were in. It was really sad. Even Leia, they even changed the camera to Leia, which was back at the base. She even felt the pain. She knew that Han had died right there. She felt that pain. But yeah, those are mainly the things that I really enjoyed about the movie. Overall, it's a fantastic movie. If you love Star Wars, you definitely have to see it. But for me, I still have some things about it that I didn't like. So I'm going to talk about the things I didn't like right now. Please don't hate me for them. These are just my opinions of the little things that I didn't like. So obviously, you know, everyone has their own opinion on things they don't like about something. So here we go. The first thing I didn't like was, I want to say, it wasn't Kylo Ren, it was the actor that played Kylo Ren. I rather, I don't know, there was just something about him when he takes his helmet off that was just, I didn't really like about it. You know, he didn't look like a bad guy per se, but he just didn't look like a Sith Lord type. I don't know. It was just hard to explain, but it was just something. It was very small, but I'm not saying like I hated that actor so much the way he played it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there was just something about it I didn't like too much. Like when he had his helmet back on, I was okay with the character, you know. But that was just one little thing about it. Another thing that I didn't like, now this is something I seriously did not like, was the fact that when Finn was handed the lightsaber, I didn't like how well he pretty much was able to wield the lightsaber. Because think about it, he's a stormtrooper, okay? He wasn't trained with swords or lightsabers, okay? He wasn't trained in the ways of the Force or Jedi or nothing like that. And yet, if you remember, okay, two scenes. One where he fought that stormtrooper with that electric-looking tonfa thing. He was able pretty much to defend himself against that person like he was a freaking trained Jedi or a trained Padawan or something like that. I'm like, he's just a stormtrooper. How is he able to you know, protect himself with a lightsaber like this or fight like this? And another thing, oh goodness, okay. Kylo Ren is supposed to be, first of all, he was supposed to at first be a Jedi in training, okay? Then he went to the dark side, which is supposed to be more powerful in the Force. So, and this was years of training right there with the Force and the lightsaber. So when Finn goes against him with a lightsaber, Finn has no training whatsoever. And for some reason, Kylo Ren is somewhat struggling at some point fighting against Finn. Like, why is he struggling to kill Finn? He should easily, you know, be able to overpower him. If you have years of training as a Jedi and then a Sith, and in the dark side, a stormtrooper with a lightsaber should be nothing. It should be a walk in the park. It should just be smack, kill, that's it. But in the end of that battle, Kylo Ren does beat Finn, but I mean, like, come on, it took a little too long there. So yeah, that was another thing that I seriously did not agree with at all, you know. I mean, come on, a stormtrooper wielding a lightsaber like that. Now a lot of people were saying like, oh, he's force sensitive and stuff like that. No, I mean, but it doesn't say anything about they don't say anything at all about that in the movie. I mean, at least give me somewhat of a hint that he has somewhat of the force, that the force is somewhat strong with him, at least then I'll make a little bit more sense, but they didn't. Another thing I didn't like, okay, I liked Captain Phasma's character. I loved it. I thought it was gonna be, alright, this is gonna be freaking cool. But when I watched it, the character had a full 2 scenes in the movie, and by the end it kept this so-called tough looking Captain Phasma pretty much just... Sorry about that, you guys. My phone just rang, so I had to answer it. Okay, but yeah, back to Captain Phasma. Alright. I didn't like how there was just a full 2 scenes, and then by the second scene, it was pretty much Phasma surrendering, I guess, pretty much falling under control against Finn to lower the shields. I'm expecting like Phasma to be a serious trained stormtrooper to fight Finn. I'm expecting like a nice little brawl going on there. Or if you remember, like I just said, with that scene with that stormtrooper with that electric melee weapon Tonfa thing, I really would have liked to have seen Captain Phasma fighting with that weapon. I would have liked to have seen that battle go on. That would have been really nice to see. But it's such a shame, I thought that was just gonna be such an awesome character, but it's whatever. And the last thing that I really didn't like was the way they showed Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, I know this character is gonna play a big role in the movies, and actually after this I want to talk about some predictions. But what I didn't like was, I kind of... how when they show like Emperor Palpatine in the other movies, he always had his hood over his face. You knew who it was, but they still kept it kind of mysterious in a way. I would have preferred that with Supreme Leader Snoke, but the way they showed him, like they showed his full face and everything, all CG and eye and everything like that, which I wasn't too big of a fan of. But I mean, like, I could, it's something I could live with, but again, that's just one little tiny thing. So those are the things that I really didn't somewhat like about the movie. They're not deal breakers. Still an excellent movie, still really enjoyed it. So this is pretty much my thoughts and review on the movie of Star Wars The Force Awakens. So overall, I think it's an excellent movie, but like every other movie, it has its ups and downs in it. But that's just for me personally. Everyone else that I've seen reviews on, they loved every moment, every second of it. For me, it's just the tiny little things that I didn't like about it. But the entire movie was excellent. The way it ended was very well done. I loved how they showed Luke at the end staring into Rey's face as she's handing him his lightsaber. It was amazing. I thought it was an excellent movie. But that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. If you haven't seen Star Wars and you watched this video, I'm sorry for spoiling the whole thing for you, but I did warn you. It doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. I think you should still watch it. It's an amazing movie still, and I think it's gonna be in theaters for a while, considering that Star Wars and it raised over $1 billion already. But yeah, it was excellent. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next trailer, honestly, for the next movie. It's sad that J.J. Abrams won't be directing episode 8, so now I'm a little bit scared in a way for the next one. But I think it's gonna be okay, hopefully I think it's gonna be okay. So that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And I'll catch you guys another time, another video. Thanks.